Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Vidya for Success. In this video, we will be studying some of the CET concepts on the lesson Human Health and Disease. Yes, our first question is PMNL, monocytes, natural killer cells and macrophages are. So these are the different types of cells belongs to WBC. So let us see the first one, PMNL. So PMNL is nothing but polymorphonuclear leukocytes. They are also called as neutrophils. So neutrophils, they are playing very important role to destroy pathogens. Clear? And monocytes, so monocytes are also a type of WBC cell. They are also able to destroy pathogen in our body. Then if you move to the natural killer cells and macrophages, they are also type of WBC cell. So all the four different types of WBC cells, they are providing the kind of immunity to our body. That means they are able to destroy the pathogen. Clear, right? So they are indirectly protecting our body by fighting with the antigens. So because of all the four types of cells are belongs to WBC, the kind of barriers are called as cellular barriers. That means the different kinds of cells are providing the immunity to our body. They are fighting against the antigens, so that they are called as a cellular barriers. So let us see the option. Option A, physical barriers. So these are not the physical barriers. Physical barriers are nothing but skin. So skin act as a physical barrier, and mucous membrane, that will also act as a physical barrier. Then option B, physiological barriers. So physiological barriers are nothing but some of the chemicals secreted in our body. So for example, saliva, tear from eyes. So these are the example of physiological barriers. So option C, cellular barriers. So what I said, the four different types of cells given in the question, all are belongs to cellular barriers. So the correct answer is option C. Then the second question, pathogen specific immunity called. So pathogen specific immunity is actually called as acquired immunity, because this type of immunity is not present in our body since from the birth. Clear? So it is actually acquired during the lifetime of an individual when he is get exposed to different kinds of pathogen. So acquired immunity is always pathogen specific. That means only particular kinds of pathogens are able to destroyed by our immune system. So it will always work based on the memory. So acquired immunity is always pathogen specific. Clear? So the correct answer is option A. Then option B, innate immunity. So innate immunity is the kind of immunity, it is present in our body since from birth. Clear? So skin act as a physical barrier, then saliva act as a physiological barrier. So these are the few examples of innate immunity. They are not pathogen specific. Clear? Then option C, both A and B. Then option D, none. So the correct answer here is option A, acquired immunity, because it is called as a pathogen specific immunity. Then the third question, acquired immunity characterized by. So as I said in the last question, acquired immunity is actually acquired during the lifetime of an individual. Clear? So when we are get exposed to new and different types of pathogen, our immune system develops a kind of immunity that is actually called as acquired immunity. So it will always work based on memory. That means once you have attacked with one kind of pathogen, in the future the same pathogen enters your body, your immune system accurately recognizes that pathogen and immediately it will release a weapon to destroy it. Clear? That means that our acquired immunity is works based on memory. Clear, right? So that it will keep the previous encounter of the pathogen, and immediately in the subsequent encounter it will release us antibodies to destroy pathogen. So the correct answer here is option A, memory. Then option B, innate. So innate immunity is present since from the birth. That is not the character of acquired immunity. Then option C, non-specific. Option D, cell. So the correct answer is option A, memory. Is the fourth question, T lymphocytes mediate. So T lymphocytes are the kinds of lymphocytic cell. Clear. So lymphocytes are actually produces in the bone marrow. So soon after they produces in the bone marrow, they will migrate to the thymus. That means not all, only some of the lymphocytic cell migrates to thymus and they will mature there. Clear. So which of the lymphocytic cells they mature and proliferate in the thymus, those lymphocytes are named as T lymphocytes. Clear, right? So they are not produces antibodies to destroy pathogen. So directly they will go and destroy the pathogen by different kinds of mechanism, so that T lymphocytes are considered as a cell mediated immunity. Understood, right? So let us see the first option, option A, humoral immunity. So humoral immunity is given by B lymphocytes because they will produce antibodies directly to destroy pathogen. Clear, right? So B lymphocytic cells are giving a kind of immunity that is called as humoral immunity. This is not the answer. Then option B, cell mediated immunity. So it is actually giving by T lymphocytes. Then option C, antibody immunity. So antibody immunity is actually considered as a humoral immunity giving by B lymphocytes. So the correct answer here is option B, cell mediated immunity. Is the fifth question, active immunity is. So based on whether the antibodies naturally produces in the body or not, the immunity is divided into two types. One is active immunity and another one is passive immunity. So let us see the active immunity first. Active immunity is the type of immunity. Here our body directly releases antibodies to destroy pathogen. Clear. So we are not taking the antibodies from outside. So naturally our body will be able to produce the antibodies to destroy pathogen. Clear, right? So that active immunity is slow and it is very effective. That means in case of response, the kind of response showing by the active immunity is very specific and it is very effective compared to the passive immunity. Clear, right? Why active immunity is slow? Because it need to identify the pathogen and it need time to releases antibodies. Clear. So for all these things, the body require time, so that active immunity is slow, but it is very accurate and the response is very effective. So let's see the options. Option A, slow and takes time to give its full effective response. So the correct answer is option A, because active immunity is always slow and it gives its full effective response. Option B, fast and takes less time to give its full effective response. So this is actually the character of passive immunity. Passive immunity is fast and it takes less time to give full effective response. Then option C, fast and takes time to give its full effective response. So active immunity is always slow. So the correct answer here is option A. Is the sixth question. Spleen is an secondary lymphoid organ. So lymphoid organs are of two types. One is primary lymphoid organ, another one is secondary lymphoid organ. So in the primary lymphoid organ, the formation of lymphocytic cells takes place. Clear. In the secondary lymphoid organ, the interaction of antigen takes place with antibody. Clear, right? So the function of a spleen as a secondary lymphoid organ is it acts as a filter of blood. That means it will trap all the blood-borne microorganism. Then it acts as a reservoir of erythrocytes. That means after the death of RBC cell, after completing the lifespan, all the dead RBC cell, they will come and accumulate in this spleen. So spleen is a secondary lymphoid organ. It is considered as a reservoir of erythrocyte. Clear. So see the option A, act as a filter of blood borne microorganisms. So option A is correct because that is the actual function of spleen. Then option B, mainly contain lymphocytes and phagocytes. So lymphocytes and phagocytes are present in The spleen. Clear, because it is a secondary lymphoid organ where the interaction of antigen antibody takes place. So in order to interact with the antigen, the organ need to consist of lymphocytes. So lymphocytes and phagocytes are present in the spleen. Then option C has a large reservoir of erythrocytes. So this is also correct with regarding the spleen. So the correct answer is option D, all. Then the seventh question, which lymphatic tissue constitutes about 50% of the lymphoid tissue? So lymphoid tissue is a part of immune system because when the antigen come in contact with lymphoid tissue, it is able to destroy them. Clear, right? So that kind of specialized character will be present in lymphoid tissue. So by phagocytic or some or the other way, they will be able to destroy the antigen whenever they get in contact with the pathogens. Clear. So let us see the option. Option A, spleen. So spleen is an organ, not a lymphoid tissue. Then option B, MALT. So MALT is nothing but mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. So these tissues are present about 50% of the lymphoid tissues. So these are the major tissues present in our body to effectively fight with the antigen. Clear, right? So the correct answer is MALT. Then option C, Peyer's patches. So Peyer's patches are present in the large intestine. So they are the part of large intestinal organ. Then option D, all. So the correct answer here is mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. It's the eighth question. Lymph nodes. So lymph nodes are also a part of secondary lymphoid organ. So these are the solid structure. They are distributed in different part of our body. Clear. So what is the function of lymph node? So lymph node is very helpful to trap the antigens. Clear, right? So that lymph nodes are the solid structure. They are located in different parts of our body. They are very effective in trapping the antigens. Clear. So let us see the option. Option A produces antibodies. So lymph nodes does not produces antibodies. Their only function is to trap the antigens. Then option C are primary lymphoid organs. They are not primary lymphoid organs. Lymph nodes are secondary lymphoid organs. Clear. So in the primary lymphoid organs, we have only two. One is bone marrow and another one is thymus. Then option D, all. So the correct answer here is option B.